Thank you guys for being here today and for being brave. Some of you have tried this before, I think, too. The rest of you haven't, so you are awesome. Ars Amandi is a technique for love and intimacy and can be used for sexuality as well. We oftentimes in LARP have lots and lots of mechanics for how to kill and torture people, but not so much for how to be loving towards one another in a physical manner. Obviously, having real sex has repercussions, especially if you're in a relationship or if you just don't want to go that far with somebody, or if the LARP doesn't allow it. But the Ars Amandi basically allows you to have sort of a simulation of what it would feel like to be physically intimate with someone and have a lot of those same emotions without crossing too many boundaries. So it's something that you can scale depending on who your comfort level with the individual in the scene. The method originally was developed by Emma Wieslander, who is a Swedish LARP designer. And the way that she does it, she runs all the way up the hands and to the shoulders and collarbone and neck. We're not going to go that far. We're just going to go to the shoulder. Does anybody have any problems with their arms or hands being touched? So, do you have a burn?
Yeah, I covered it up. I should be okay.
Okay.
I would prefer just not this right here.
And tickle in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you can opt out of this workshop at any time, and we have mechanics for that. And that includes the debrief, okay? So if at the end you just don't feel comfortable sharing, you don't have to. However, I would encourage you, if maybe you're just feeling a little shy, to stay in the debrief at least to listen to what other people have to say, because it helps them feel connected. But if for whatever reason you have to opt out, the mechanic during the workshop is going to be, there's going to be 2 tabs for break. So everybody try that on your own. And that means put on the brakes. That means what you're doing is a little bit too much. So if you could just scale it back, stop whatever you're doing and just scale it back a little bit, that's great. So like, for example, I don't like to be scratched. So if somebody starts running their fingers up and down with the nails, then I might do the double tap for that. But if you really want to just break the scene, if you need to cut, you can leave at any time. You'll just do. So go ahead and try that. So that's just 4 taps, and that the person just will stop what they're doing and you'll be able to leave the scene, okay? And during the debrief, if you just need to leave, you can say cut. And one of the things that we call it is the open door policy. So it means the door is always open if you need to leave. However, we're also thinking about calling it the revolving door policy. So if you do leave, it's nice to come back later and kind of say, you don't have to necessarily explain what happened, but just say, hey, I'm sorry, because it is a group experience and, people will wonder and be concerned about you. So this is a sort of debate that's going on right now in terms of safety and how we're going to frame these kinds of experiences. So the way that it's going to work is we're going to have 4 people in the center and 4 people in the outer ring. 4 people in the center are going to be back to back and are going to stay stationary. And the 4 people in the outer ring are going to rotate. And so we will change the groups up, so hopefully everybody will be able to interact with everybody. At one point I may ask, who hasn't interacted? And so we'll switch you up accordingly. So probably 2 people will stay stationary and then 2 people will change. Would anybody prefer to be in the center ring? Okay, great. So let's go ahead and have you guys positioned in the center, backs to each other.
I'll just be 4th, yeah.
The 3rd. And then if you'd like to come over here. And then everybody else will face one another.
Yay!
Yeah.
The rotation will happen once every 2 to 3 minutes, so you won't be stuck in a scene for very long. We're going to start with learning the technique through touch, and then we're going to start adding some narrative elements. So I want everybody to close their eyes. People on the inner circle, I'd like you to have your palms up. An outer circle, I want you to be active. You're going to have palms down, and you're going to explore just the hands. Feel the way that the hands heart-shaped. Experiment with the way that you touch. How do you express feeling through touch?
Takes its form, the jungle, brown and tight. In search of you, I feel my way through the slowest evening night.
Passive partners, you don't have to be completely passive. You can reciprocate. But the active person is taking the lead. Rotate. So outer circle is going to rotate to the left. So you're going to go that way.
I'll go to this.
So you'll go that way. Sorry, to the right.
Stay left.
Eyes closed. And this time, the passive people will now be active. Eyes still closed, and both parties are active.
Breaking out to the silence, all the things that we both might say. And the heart will not be led till we're both on the same damn set. When the barriers go away, I say please talk to me. Won't you please come talk
eyes closed. This time we're going to move up to the forearm. And both parties are active. Thank you, partner. Eyes closed. This time we're going to go up to the shoulder.
This is real. This is cloud. Dance till the morning sun. Dance till the morning sun. Dance till the morning sun. Dance, 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 walking down the line. I am waiting for you. I will call to see where you could be. I remember when I could hear the wind. This time we will come away as one. As one.
Thank your partner and rotate. All right, so this time we're going to integrate breathing. I want you to really think about what your breathing is communicating to your partner. So it's still shoulder and eyes closed, and you're going to really communicate through your breathing. And also experiment a little bit with what certain types of touch might be indicating. I'll leave you to interpret that as you prefer. Thank your partner and rotate.
It's okay, it's why, oh, look, it fell off. Oh,
All right. So this is going to be the last one of round one. And we're going to this time we're going to do eyes open. And that doesn't mean you have to be staring directly at each other, right? You can flirt with your eyes, you can look away. Your eyes can communicate all different kinds of things. So don't feel like you have to do deep eye gazing during this. But, you know, think about the giggling, think about the breathing, think about all the way to the arms, and these are all tools at your disposal.
Think about what you're looking at and what that means.
partner. And
Thank you.
before we rotate, I'm going to switch. So we're going to add a narrative element to this. You're not going to be characters per se, but you're going to be individuals in a dynamic with one another. You can choose to imagine this is your character, or you can just keep it open. But through touch, you're going to sort of be negotiating what's happening in the scene. And the goal is to basically go through a life cycle of a couple, potential life cycle. And we're going to go through a long range of emotions. I just want to ask right now, does anybody feel uncomfortable with erotic content? Raise your hand if you do, it's totally fine. Because this is something that I generally stray away from, but we all seem like we're having a good time, enjoying ourselves, so maybe I'll add a little bit of that. If you're uncomfortable, raise your hand, because it's great. So switch. Yes, please rotate. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. So eyes closed.
Eyes closed.
Yes. You are at a party. You have just seen each other from across the room, and you know that there's something there, and you're having your first conversation. You're learning about each other. Alright, still eyes closed. It's the end of your first date, and you're deciding whether or not you want to take the plunge and be intimate. it's been a couple weeks since you've talked to each other since that date, and the doubt is creeping in, and you've just now seen each other again. So how do you choose to connect with one another again? Your eyes are closed. What do you want to tell this person?
I caught sight of my reflection. I caught it in the window. I saw the darkness in my heart. I saw the signs of my undoing. They had been there from the start. And the darkness still has work to do. The knotted cords untying, the heated and the holy, oh, they're sitting there on high, so secure, with everything they're buying. In the blood of Eden, like the woman and the man, the man and the woman, and the woman and the man, in the blood of Eden, like the woman and the man, they wanted a union. Oh, the union of the woman and the man. My grip is surely slipping. I think I've lost my. Yes, I think I've lost my hold. I cannot get insurance anymore. I don't take credit, only gold. Is that a dagger or a crucifix I see? Hold so tightly in your hand. And all the while the distance grows between you and me. I do not understand. In the mud of
Thank your partner and rotate.
Who hasn't interacted yet?
in the tenderness, I am floating away. No certainty,
All right,
nothing to rely
you found out that there's been a betrayal.
on still.
One of you, and you can decide who has been hiding something very important that is very hurtful to the other
What
person.
a moment.
How do you resolve this? How do you express how each other feel, and how do you resolve it? Through touch. This will be eyes closed.
Do you want to be the betrayer or the betrayer?
Eyes closed, eyes open.
I can do it either way.
Eyes closed.
Alright, I'll be the betrayer.
Okay.
I can hear the distant thunder of a million unheard souls, of a million unheard souls. Watch each one reach for creature comfort, for the feeling of their home. In the mud of Eden, like a woman and a man.
up. You are on a date, and you decided that you're going to have sex somewhere you're not supposed to.
Eyes open or closed?
What did you say?
Eyes open or closed?
Eyes closed until I tell you otherwise.
Don't give me respect, don't give me a piece of your precious love. No, just give it, I don't need I'm sure they get you friends. Even the rain goes down like a spray as you cock your mind. No figure that's only built around us for you. I can be true. I don't know why. Why can't I understand? You know, bird in the sky can be cruel. I don't know why. I don't know why. Dance with the soul, we celebrate your top 10 in the charts of pain. Lover, brother, bougainvillea, my mind twists around your name. Even the rain is sharp like today as you shock me sing. No figure that's only built around us for you. I can be true. I don't know why. Why can't I burn or stay up? You know, all that clear sky can be cruel. I don't know why. Don't know why.
Eyes closed, and this is the proposal. Decide who's making the proposal.
Oh, just got to the good part.
Eyes closed. There might be a pregnancy.
Oh, I figured.
Well, we should probably give a look at that.
Is this making the pregnancy or acknowledging the pregnancy?
It's disclosing there might be a pregnancy.
Take your partner and rotate.
Who hasn't interacted yet? Has everyone interacted? Okay, continue. Rotate.
Should we avoid that area?
Stupid worship pattern.
All right, eyes closed, and you're discovering something about your partner's sexuality that you didn't know. Interpret as you will. Thank you, partner. Thank you. All right, for this next one, we're still going to do eyes closed. And you're going to think about your breathing and communicate with your breath through this one.
I've been sick, so fine.
You want to go first? Yeah.
Where's the other one?
I would keep it.
Okay.
With your ease and your ease, and I'm doing my girls lost in your embrace. Easy girls, sweet Sonata.
Would you like to switch to the outer circle so you can rotate? Okay.
All right, so eyes open, and one of you is retiring, and you're about to have a big life change.
Yeah, might as well. All right.
Alright, you guys are on the vacation of a lifetime. You've been planning this whole time. Since the first day we've been talking about this vacation.
Is it eyes open?
Eyes open.
Where are we going?
Cool.
Sounds good.
you. This will be our last round. Or actually, full song, so a couple more rounds. You're still on that awesome vacation. This is the best. And you are climbing to the top of a pyramid. The sun is setting, and you're holding each other's hands as you reach the top, and you're reflecting upon your lives together. You're all alone on top of the pyramid. No one can see what you do. This will be the last round.
Yeah. I think I got clothes on my nose.
One of you is in your last moments of life, and the other is there.
Do you want to die or me?
I'll die.
You want to die?
I'll die.
Last time. Or you want to be dying?
I'll be dying. We can trade.
Okay.
It's ironic
Oh, okay.
or something.
I still have it.
Yes.
My silence is all coughing out every drop. Used to be smart, now I'm renting you apart. Stepping out, I am your style.
tell each other how much you've meant to one another, and how you wouldn't have shared your life with anyone else.
Thank you.
If people need to use the restroom, please do so, and then we'll have a briefing circle. Thank you everybody for participating. I hope it was enjoyable for you. Everybody seemed to be really into it, which is really awesome to see. So first, does anybody have anything they'd like to share immediately that comes to mind?
Well, I can just say what I said before, that it's always fun doing Ars Amandi in a group because everybody has a different style and a different way of expressing with their hands, and it's so versatile. It's really fun.
Yeah. It was also cool seeing how people's style changed as they felt different people. There were definitely a couple, like following, like somebody who had interacted with her and then switched and interacted with me. I could definitely feel her style coming through them because I assumed they were like, "Ooh, that's a good idea."
It was like active learning.
So
At the beginning, I felt like I was trying to think really hard about, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? But it becomes much more intuitive as you continue on.
I definitely feel like my style would be much different as a character versus as me if I were to do it as my DR character versus as be completely different style.
oh my gosh, yes.
It would be way different.
No,
but-
Russell didn't come to this game.
It was interesting when I interacted because, of course, we're married in real life. So it was definitely kind of easier just to interact, but at the same time, it became much less playing a character and more just and I.
I didn't really feel like I was playing a character most of the time. I was just using the feeling, but I wasn't a cage in those situations. I wish I had.
Because at the beginning,
Yes.
we were just, we only got like twice and that was it. And
I love playing with fun. We did Ars Amandi together last time we did this workshop, so yeah, it was fun.
It's
I was. There were definitely a couple times I'm like, So red windmill. I'm not gonna lie.
Now that you know how it works.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed everybody had a very different style.
Yeah.
But everybody definitely, you know, and even expressing similar emotions way differently. It was very interesting to notice everybody express them.
It's interesting, you actually like telling the story essentially through touch, which is it's nothing I've really done before, so it's very interesting.
And as Americans, we're often discouraged from touching each other, so
Yeah.
it's a very,
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of that at the beginning. People were very tentative about going like to the forearm and above. Like even like hands was a little awkward, and then going after that, like people.
And I think it sort of played well into the story as well, though, because when you talk about like the first date, it was kind of a first date for a lot of us because it was like, you know, I don't know everybody here, and it's like getting used to it. It's sort of like asking for permission. Hey, is this cool? And like seeing how comfortable, you really have to gauge how comfortable the other person is. And I think it was good. I think a lot of what helped me get more comfortable is I really like yoga. So mindful presence, sort of being there in the moment and just like focusing on the feeling, I think really helps, because it helps you see how you like gauge where you're at and also gauge where the other person is.
And I think that there's, on the opposite end of that, people can get performance anxiety and feel like they have to somehow control what's going on, or they're, you know, nervous about it, so that's really good
It was interesting seeing the balances between people who was more passive and who was more directive. Because I am most of the time a fairly directive person, just because I get frustrated and like you're not doing it right. But when it comes to two intimate situations, a lot of time I am very much the reach out and then once the initial contact's made, I'm the passive partner. And so it was interesting seeing who fed in and went with that versus who the more active doing side came out. It was interesting to see how that sort of switched up as the thing went on, because there were a couple people that when it started, they were very much I must be the actives. And I was like, all right, I can roll with this. But then by the end, it's like, oh look, egalitarian, cool, if that made sense.
That's one of the strengths about this method, is that sometimes people use back rubs to simulate sex, and that's very much an act of somebody is sort of being super dominant over someone else. Someone has to be passive in a back rub situation, whereas Ars Amandi is more, it was developed to be more of an egalitarian style, where you can play with activity and passivity, but it's not one person completely passive.
Yeah, it helps that it is like it's very pleasurable feeling. It's nice feeling, like a little arm massage and hand massage. So there's that mixture of I'm really enjoying myself, and also what should I do for the other person?
Yeah. Everybody enjoyed everybody's different style, like everything from, maybe more like, light touches and tickling to like a more grasping thing, or, or just, just caressing each other. Like it was very interesting to see everybody's different style.
It was interesting how people's styles changed depending on the emotion, too.
The last one with the dying partner was really intense. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
It was super intense.
Yeah, that's a new addition,
Yeah.
which I've been trying out.
It was really good.
It was really
That was
good.
good.
Yeah.
So let's just go around and think about what was the most profound one. Obviously that's the last one on people's mind, but try to think about the full range of the things that you experienced, and maybe just express such opportunities.
Well, probably just the last one, like we were saying, because I mean that was really intense, especially since I had some issues with death myself. So it's just a very intense experience. Really good.
Yeah, I definitely, we're really connecting, like giving each other really sad looks, and like mainly just like, he was kind of passive, but like we would just like grip each other really hard, and like lightly. It was super intense and super emotional. I think the nice thing about doing this workshop the second time is I was way less nervous or worried about it, so I was able to enjoy it a lot more. So, yeah.
We get a lot of repeat people when they experience it once. This is number 3. Yeah.
I actually think that, I don't know, it's kind of tied. The retiring one with her was really fun, because it was definitely like so we don't really know what's going to happen next, but we're very excited that something is happening. And then the pyramid was also very nice. That was definitely like because the emotion behind it being the basically pinnacle of your existence, like, you know, you've accomplished everything you want in your life, and you're at the top of this pyramid with someone you spent your entire life with. So, like, both of those were pretty much on par as far as the things I enjoyed the most. So.
Yeah, the retirement one was pretty ridiculously fun. Just, we were totally clicking on that one.
Yeah.
And also the first one I don't remember what the thing we did, what the background for it was, but it just was.
Yeah, it was super fun and playful, so it was great.
It was fun, even with the glasses clicking.
We figured out some new techniques. It was great.
Okay, so the dying one was super intense. I teared up, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because I was choking a little bit because of the coughing, but I know I was tearing up. And you even stopped moving at the end, so I was like, oh my god. And then the baby one was interesting because I got to partner.
I have something to tell you.
Let's go to the clinic. But no, that was weird because it's like you kind of, in that situation, you kind of want to act like you're happy about it, but at the same time, that would be a really weird situation for us to have. Mm-hmm. So it was an interesting, like, thing.
I've taken that one out in more clear environments, but I still find it interesting. I mean, it's not necessary for a life cycle by any means, but it still provides a dynamic and a lot of communication back and forth, because that moment when you share that, how are they going to respond? What are they going to respond? You know, like that's a really important sort of pivotal moment for a lot of couples.
So why have you taken it out in other situations then?
If it's mainly female participants, or you know that maybe they are not in that situation in a lesbian couple unless they decide to be, you know. I also was thinking about adding an element of extra people in the relationship, but I thought that might get convoluted, so I decided not to do that. So
That's actually a question I wanted to ask, is about doing Ars Amandi in poly situations, like having a triad or something, or a moving between people idea. Would be something that would be interesting to check out.
well, and really we were moving between people, so it's one person's life, but it's really a shared life in a way, or two people's life, one couple's life, but really a shared life. But, you know, like with the betrayal scene, I was trying to focus on, this is something that was non-consensual. This is something that the other person didn't know about and didn't agree to. So it's not so much that it happened, it's that there was a conflict of some sort, which people can interpret as they will. But yeah, you can totally Ars Amandi with multiple people.
Okay, let's see. I liked all of them. I really liked the betrayal one with you. I feel like it wasn't too angsty, which was interesting. It was
the initial push away, and then I just sweet talked you back into liking me again.
I wasn't actually that angry. And I also thought it was really interesting to do it with like ours. We always interacted like in the beginning before we talked about the role play and stuff. I felt like it was much more friendly, like fun, rather than kind of the more romantic intimacy. I hope I'm not shutting you down.
Me in the friend zone. Sorry, Dylan. She's like, no, you're fun to play with. That's about it.
No way. You're fun. You're fun to play. There's meaningful
We can
kinds
talk
of
about that later.
Oh my.
So I think that there were two that kind of stood out to me, and that was the pregnancy one, and and like the uncertainty of that, and trying to express so much emotion, and trying to be like, there's uncertainty, but I'm trying to think, this is the person that I'm with, and like trying to show support at the same time. I thought that was really intense, but you could see how it shifted from even the previous person. It was very much fun to like more caring, and even almost turning maternal, like I'm here supporting you sort of thing. So that was really neat to see the shift from the previous scene to that one. And then doing the last one with the dying partner, that one was like, it was kind of weird for me because I have been there with people when they've passed away. And so it was just like, okay, how would I do it if this was the person, you know, that I spent the rest of my life with? So I think that one was really intense. And I probably held back on that one, but I think it's really good, and it's a good addition if you were ever, you know, wondering if it was good or not. I think it's really great because it conveys a lot of emotion.
It's just kind of, you know, for some people might be a bummer. And I try to play pretty uplifting music, so it's not just like, okay, no, everything's terrible. It's like, no, this is just life.
There was one that was like a Tori Amos song that was like kind of sad and angsty with a really happy like scenario.
If you listen to the lyrics, you're just like, oh my god.
Yes, it was like Sacrifice. Sacrifice during
yeah.
one of the uplifting ones. I was like, this feels really weird.
Part of it is that I started with a sad illness was the start of that.
Yeah.
I know we're dying and there's no sign of a parachute. And then I didn't really have another sad one after that, so we had to switch into something else. Sorry, it's not a perfect situation.
There was one at the beginning made me break out and giggle for a minute. It's the one at the beginning is just so completely jarring compared to the rest of the smoothness of the others. I think I was with... Were you the one that I broke down in giggles for a minute?
No, I did hear you though.
I don't remember.
I heard you as well, and I don't think you.
I think you and I did some giggling.
No, I think it was, no, we were dancing in that part. And
Oh
then
yeah,
we-
that was fun.
Yeah.
We were Ars Amandi dancing. It was great.
Okay, so that's my turn. I had a really good one with the betrayal. That was fun. And then and then doing this before with, because I was with the betrayal, and that was fun trying to get her to open up and, you know, accept me and stuff. We did the pinnacle one and the pyramid, and then like just doing that dynamic with, you know, the same person like in different situations. That was great. And then at the end, because I just lost my stepbrother. It was interesting. So I could really feel energy changing, and I knew my energy was changing as well, and I was trying not to cry during the whole thing. So
It's okay to cry.
thank you.
Loves. Loves.
I added a couple other ones because I did want to try to pilot some of the sexual stuff, but I don't want to force it on people. So the having sex you're not supposed to was a new one.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Okay.
So that was it.
Yeah. You're just like, so you want?
And then the top of the pyramid, you're all alone.
We did the learning the new bit about their sexual interests.
That was
really
That was
fun.
really interesting. That was fun.
That one. And
I think, yeah.
I was like, I don't know. You're like, oh,
Just like,
there was a bit of like, maybe no, I'm not sure about this.
I think
It
it was
worked out.
reflective because even it was like, what? And then there was some like awkward points. So like, oh, what do we do now? And I'm like, yeah, that's fitting. Yeah.
So real quick, let's just do one last round of what was the high point for you. It can be the same as your other one, or it could be something that just...
Yeah, that was probably the last one was probably the high point, most emotion there.
Agreed.
Same thing I said before.
pretty much. I mean, like, yeah, the happies and the dancing around and with work and on all of the happy exploring thingies.
Alright, I think that the finding out, that one was actually really fun.
Yeah, the betrayal.
Yeah, because that was interesting emotions there.
I think a high point with me, like I liked all of them, of course, was Because I felt, for some reason, I don't know with you, I felt like I was finally like getting into the grind. What am I doing with my life?
Why am I touching these people that I don't know?
When was the last time we washed our hands?
that thought like 7 or 8 times. I'm like, I hope they wash their hands. I hope they wash their hands.
I'm sure you're all clean people.
That was the first thing I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. Okay, go wash my hands first.
I did too. That before.
Mine was kind of like yours. I think it was due. And yeah, that was the first time. I mean, it was during the first round, so we weren't like there was no narrative or anything. It's just like we were just going around, and it was the first time that I really felt that mindful presence and just being in the moment and just focusing on the touch. It was very like relaxing and sort of because I'm totally new to all this. And so I was like, okay, this is cool. So that was really high point. So I'm like, okay, we're getting into the room of things. I kind of get what we're doing, and it's a good feeling.
I think dancing at the beginning was actually a really good way just to get into the situation
That
in
was
general.
fun.
Because we were just, it's always the pre-jitters, like, oh my god, I don't know what they would like. Oh, I do this, I don't know. Like, but in a situation like a first date almost. So we've done it together for basically just it loosened me up a lot more to the all experiences in general. So
It's very passionate. How's that passionate?
oh, that's sexy. Yes. So it was just good to actually have that as my warm up before the actual like storyline happened, because it really helped me just shake everything out and get ready for whatever was coming my way with whoever. So
Yeah.
oh yeah.
That's my girl. All right. Is this something, just real quick, that you think you might be able to use in your LARPing?
I totally will.
Quite possible.
Definitely.
So much more awkward, and it's gonna be awesome.
Oh God, Vivi.
I don't know about my current character, but she's kind of a prude, but maybe.
I think it'll be really interesting for me to use it at DR with my main character. That'll be interesting.
Oh god, rabbit silent. I think it would
Maybe.
depend on the level of
If I ever let that happen.
We'll see.
I think it would depend on my level of comfort with other people, not just in game, but outside of game. Like,
Absolutely.
Because I entertain, and I've had weird experiences with entertain. And I'm just like, I'm doing my shindig, and people are like, well, my back is real tight. You wanna? I'm like, you just made it really weird. So it's just, I think it would depend on that level of comfort.
And one thing that I know it's discouraged to break character, but I really think it's important to just have a brief conversation about consent beforehand and just boundaries. So, hey, I'm going to show you technique. We're going to touch from here to here. Is that going to be okay with you? If not, we can just fade to black. And then, it's not going to completely ruin your experience to break character for a couple seconds and check in with the other person. Because chances are, if you're trying this, it's probably going to be with someone who hasn't done the workshop. So, you can either talk to them ahead of time, which would be preferable, and hopefully we'll have these videos up so you can share those with them.
I just got a terrible idea.
Sorry, Sharon. Or, if it is one of those situations where it's like you have the tool and they don't, then, it's a good idea to do consent first anyway, just to kind of make sure everybody's on the same page. All right. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, you have
So I think it might be nice to incorporate as a beginner with this. The one person is active, one person is passive with the full, because I felt like we just kind of jumped right into the full arm, and there was a little bit of who is doing what, which works with the situation, but
the risk for me is I find the first part kind of boring. The narrative stuff is more interesting to me, so I don't want to drag that out too terribly long, But that definitely is something to
think about, especially with people who've never ever done it before.
Sure. Or we could do shorter rounds. It's just, I don't really like having people have to So you're just sat down, now get up and rotate, you know?
I agree with her too, because those of us, including myself, who like had never done it before, I definitely felt like once we got to the full arm, we were both like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do right now. And there was definitely a bit of like, you know, locking up and pulling away, because we're like, we're not really entirely certain of like the
So
protocol.
allowing one person to take the lead.
At least for one round, and then like,
Yeah.